But moving on to another topic. Okay, so we touched on this very briefly last time. I don't know if you saw it, but Leica introduced something called the Vario X. Now, are you familiar with this at all?
No, I mean, I've got a Leica camera. It's the doctor's camera where it doesn't get off the shelf.
Right, it's in mint condition.
Yeah.
Like if you take Ray's card out of his camera, there's pictures on there from like 2012. It's like one card with a year's worth of photos on it because it's an M9 with the 35 millimeter Summilux, the 1.4 lens. The lens is like $4,000, the body is $7,000.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a Thummy so that I can.
Oh, cool! I love that. It's the best.
I'm gonna rededicate myself to using it because it shouldn't sit on the shelf, but I should be using it, and I'm gonna be using it.
Cool. The
so
Thummy is a device.
I'll keep you updated.
Right. The weird thing about the Leicas is when you had to film Leicas, you advance the film with your thumb, and what a lot of photographers would do is they would kind of lock their thumb into the film advance lever, and that became a way to grip the camera because it's a very small camera that's not designed with a grip. And then when Leica went digital, Leica felt like, well, we don't need that little film advance because there's no film in the camera. And then it became a little harder to grip the camera. So a couple of different people came out with solutions to give you another grip of the camera. There's one called the thumbs up, which is very popular, but you lose your hot shoe when you put it on your camera, which is intolerable to me, unacceptable to me. And then there's something called a thummy that you like stick on the camera, gives you a place to rest your thumb, and it makes the grip amazing on the camera. I love the product, and I use it all the time. But what Leica did, though, they announced that they were coming out with something called a Mini M. You know, and people get excited. Anytime Leica puts out anything, everybody's excited. Like, wow, what's that going to be? And what you're hoping for would be the Leica equivalent of an XE1. So what this would be is a camera that doesn't have a rangefinder. That's the delicate part of the camera. It's the expensive part of the camera. And it would not have a rangefinder, but it would take all the Leica M lenses. All I have to do is put this out, and it's a home run for Leica. And it exists already. It's called a Fuji XE1. Fuji's done it. We're just waiting for Leica to do it. And this is what you think they're going to do. So it starts to leak. The information starts to leak. And the leak is that it's a zoom lens camera. It's a point and shoot, basically, with a zoom lens. And it's a super slow lens. I think when you zoom in the camera to 70 millimeters, you're opening up to like 6.4, which is useless. Am I correct in that? It's useless.
Useless without a flash.
Yeah, I mean, who wants a flash? And you know, the weird thing is, in the old days, the Leicas were known as low light cameras because they were making 1.4 lenses, and you know, they were known as the low light camera. And now you want to come up with a zoom lens 6.4, useless camera. So that leaks. Everybody on the internet, on these little forums, rather, starts going crazy. Oh, what a dumb camera! What a dumb camera! So then Leica puts out an announcement on their site. It says, on June 11th, we're going to announce the real camera. You've heard the rumors. Get ready for the truth. And everybody starts speculating again. Oh my God, what's it going to be? And I'm going to myself, it's going to be the same damn thing of the rumor, because the rumors are always right. They're never wrong. They always get on where these people get the information. They're always right. June 11th comes, bam, it's exactly what the rumor was. It's like a 6.4 zoom lens, point and shoot. And it just baffles me. It just blows my mind, like how a company that can make some really cool stuff. You know, they make the M9, which is a great camera. They make something called the M, which I'd like to get, which appears to be a really good camera. They make a black and white camera. I'm considering getting that. But it just amazes me of how a company can get so much stuff wrong. From announcing it as a Mini M, which it's not, to designing it with specifications that no real photographer is going to want. And it's like when you do that, you just make people angry with you. And I just don't understand what goes on in like the marketing room that doesn't make someone stop and say, like, this is not the camera we should make. This is not the camera people are waiting for. This is going to make us look out of touch. And while they're doing it, you look at a company like Fuji, and they're just doing everything right. You know, there's a blogger you and I have talked about on the podcast before, Zack, Arias, writes a great blog. I love his blog. He does something called the Photography Q&A, Ask Me Anything About Photography. He just published that blog as a book, and the Q&A blog is free. It's the same content as the book, essentially, and it's great reading. You can spend like an hour there reading all these interesting things, and like he's in love with the X100S, which is a Fuji camera. And then he'll talk about how much he loves the X Pro 1 from Fuji. And then he has a place for the XE1. And it's like Fuji can do no wrong. They made him sell his Nikon and his Canon because he loves the Fuji so much, and a lot of people are following suit. And I don't know if you have any comment on this, but just How does one company like Fuji just keep making every camera right, and everybody loves what they do, and everybody's jumping on board them, and then you get a company like Leica that could hit a home run without even thinking twice, just make an M without the rangefinder that takes the M lenses, and it's a home run. Why not, or market it properly? Don't make people think you're making a mini M when you're going to make a point and shoot with a slow zoom. How can you get so much stuff wrong?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of people. I think that they're out of touch with their users, or there's some people that are advising them that aren't advising them correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I can assume, because I just don't get it, and I think you just build a lot of anger towards your brand when you do that. People they get mad at you because they're like you, wait a minute, you went and made a new camera and you didn't make the camera we wanted? You know, and
Right.
they make, and again, so Fuji has, and I know we're getting technical here, we're not going to stay on it technical because I don't know if people like that, so we're not going to stay on it that long. Give me just a couple of minutes on this. But there's a camera called a Fuji X100S. People love the camera, universally. People just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Has a 35mm f2 lens. Leica makes something similar, but it's a 2.8 lens. That's a tremendous difference if you're really into photography. That's a big difference. That's a deal breaker for you. All Leica had to do was make the camera that they currently make with the 2.8 lens, make that same camera with a 2.0 lens. Again, home run. The sales would be flying out of the park. Everyone would love a Leica X3 with a 35mm f2. I would buy it instantly. For $2,000, twice the price of the Fuji, I'd buy it tomorrow. They won't put it out. And again, when you do that, is what you said, you look out of touch. And people lose faith in your brand, and people start insulting you on forums. And instead of having a guy like Zack Arias with an extremely popular blog, his hits are enormous, talking about, oh my God, I love your company, I love your company. You've got everybody going like, oh, they're dead. They're a boutique brand. They're not the brand for professionals anymore, and we don't want them. You know, did you see the blog post he wrote? He wrote a recent one.
I read that one, and even when we went to that, some of these Leica functions, I mean, I got Leica because of you. I could have easily gone to another company, but they did seem like they could do no wrong.
In their mind.
There was a attitude that I got that everything that they were doing was right on.
Right.
We're going to release this camera. We're going to release this camera. And people are waiting for this.
Right.
And
they're
that.
doing something different than everybody else, and nobody's on board with it.
Yeah. So,
But I will say, though, I have to say, though, on my main website, I have 3 galleries. I have my main portfolio, and then I have what I call 2 personal projects. One is called Backstage at BET, and one is called New York, My City. And 2 of those 3 galleries are primarily shot with the Leica M9. And I'm telling you, some of the best photography I've shot in my entire career has been with the Leica M9. I consistently produce great work with it. And it's weird because I second guess the camera a lot. And I think what happens for me is it's kind of this information overload, because I'm in my cave, and we've talked about this before. I'm in my cave and I love my Leica. And then I'll go read Zack Arias going, no, the Fuji's the new Leica and the Leica's garbage. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing, of course. And then it makes me second guess it. And I go, well, why does everybody else not like this camera? Maybe they're right. Maybe it's the Fuji now. And it does make me second guess it. But the bottom line is, I consistently produce great work with my Leica M9, and I love using that camera. And that's why you get frustrated when they do stuff wrong. You know, it's with anything. It's like when people are passionate about a rock group or a franchise like comic books or whatever. You understand? That's why they get so angry, because they love you and they want you to do right. And every time you make a misstep, it's like you're personally hurt. It's like they personally came and kicked you in the teeth, and you're mad at them. And it's like this love-hate thing, you know? But Zack made a point, though, about why he likes the Fuji, and the point didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like he said essentially what's happening now is everybody has a DSLR. And by that we mean a Nikon or a Canon. They've got good ones like D800s and Canon 5D Mark IIIs, and you've got the cheap Canon Rebels and the Nikon D3200s. So he says he dropped his Nikon and his Canon. That's kind of like sacrilege in the world you and I exist in. You don't do that. You must have a Nikon or a Canon to do your job. He dropped them completely. He has a medium format for the higher end commercial editorial work, and the Fuji for all the other work. These are much smaller cameras that almost look like point and shoots or Leicas. They're small cameras. And he said one of the cool benefits of that was when the people you're on set with, the art directors and stuff, they're looking at your camera like, whoa, what is that? Because they all own Nikons and Canons in their personal life, because everybody owns these cameras now. And it kind of gives you that little bit of a wow factor. And I know I get that with the Leica constantly. People are like, well, what is that? Is that a film camera? They don't know what the M9 is. But the weird thing to me was that he didn't seem to realize that the X100S is so popular. Like 3 people at Marcelo Garcia's Academy, Jiu-Jitsu, where we train, have the X100S. And like 6 months, everyone's going to have the Fuji. So like if you're buying it with a little bit of that wow factor in mind, the idea that your client is going to go, oh, this dude's different. He's not just another guy with a 5D Mark II. That's not going to last long, especially when a guy like Zack is throwing up these blog posts going, oh my God, the Fuji's great. I know that's influential. There's a ton of people running out buying a Fuji because of his blog post. In 6 months, you're going to be just where you were with the Nikon in the sense of that wow factor, that everyone's going to have the camera. And they're going to go like, oh yeah, another guy with the X100S.
Yeah, I mean,